Welcome to this session of Tech Talent Talk. We are your hosts, Oliver and Birgit, and we have the series of events to bridge the gap between recruitment and engineering. Oliver, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Oliver and I do sustainable recruitment.
And I'm Birgit. I work as a leadership coach and engineering leader. I advise people about creating high-performing teams through culture. Our topic today is very exciting because it's about GDPR compliance and AI regulations in recruiting. We had AI already in recruiting, and we have talked about GDPR compliance and AI, but just on the superficial level. And this is why we invited Bettina for this. Bettina is a lawyer and legal counsel at Subendus GmbH. She is a certified privacy expert specializing in data protection, IT, and AI law with strong focus on GDPR compliance. She brings a comprehensive approach to navigating data privacy challenges in diverse organizational settings. With a unique ability to break down highly complex technical and legal issues into accessible insights, she is dedicated to making data privacy, IT, and AI law understandable and relevant for the diverse audience. Whether through publications, presentations, or consultations, she thrives to bridge the gap between technical detail and practical applications. Outside of her professional pursuits, she's deeply committed to female empowerment, animal welfare, and environmental conversations. And I have a question, Bettina. What is GDPR and the EU AI Act, and why are they actually important for us in recruitment?
Hello. First of all, thank you for inviting me and that I can be here. And I love that you said we have an exciting topic today, and then it's law, because usually people don't think law is exciting. I think so. And it's a big question to begin with. Maybe we can start very basic. The GDPR is the General Data Protection Regulation in the EU, and the AI Act is the AI Act. It's about artificial intelligence, also in the EU. So we are not only talking about German law today, but also about the EU law in both data protection and AI fields.
Exactly. I must say, why is it exciting? Because when we look around, we may see like some really strange things going on, right? And I don't know about you, but when I look around on like what things are happening in the US in terms of recruiting, for example, like I don't know, some person is getting rejected because they have like the wrong birthday. This is pretty interesting to me. And then like we can have the same cases because AI is automating a lot of things that otherwise humans would need to do, right? For example, analyzing CVs, analyzing behavior, or like transcribing even speech during the interview, and all of such things. There are lots of applications and use cases where AI is being used during the interview process, whether it's just like as a tool to note down things or analyzing. And we also have words such as recommendation and stuff like that. I think let's go deeper into these topics.
Yeah. I love that you said that about the US especially, because most people say or think that data protection and AI are regulated too heavily in the EU, because then we cannot do anything, and the US is so much forward than compared to the EU. But maybe we don't want to have the regulation like in the US, because they can do everything with your data, and maybe we don't want that in the EU. And same with AI. So that's why I'm so deeply committed to the GDPR and the AI Act, more than more the GDPR, but the AI Act as well. And that's why I love talking about it and always try to explain it also to people that maybe criticize it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's go a little deeper into what is GDPR and what is the EU AI Act. We have a couple of terms that we probably need to discuss. What are some terminologies that we need to know in the GDPR?
So I think the most basic and the very first thing we need to know is when is the GDPR applicable. And this is always when a company processes personal data. And what is personal data? Personal data is any information with which we can identify a person. So that means the person doesn't have to be identified, but we have to have the possibility to identify. So that means basically any information about a person, like name, address, zip code, telephone number, birthday, gender, but also, for example, an IP address. That's also personal data. So pretty much every information. And we, so that the GDPR is applicable, we need to process this data. And processing means also everything we do to that data. We store it, we collect it, we organize it, I don't know, but also whenever the company deletes it, it processes personal data. So whenever a company does anything to an information with which a person can be identified, then we have to follow the rules and all the obligations of the GDPR. So that's quite a wide range. So especially in the HR field, we always have to see the obligations under the GDPR.
And the company who processes the data is called the processor, right?
No. Very good question. We have two roles under the GDPR. It's the processor, that's what you said, and the controller. And the controller is the company which determines the purposes and means of the data processing, which says why, when, which data is processed and what for example. And then we have the processor, and the processor only processes personal data on behalf of the controller. And so the processor cannot decide what data is processed and why. So whenever a company uses a service provider, whatever for, and tells him, okay, you need to do this and that for me with this and that data, then the company is the controller and the service provider is the processor.
But the owner of the data, but there's still some sort of owner of the data, right? Then this is the person.
So basically the data, we don't say owner, we say data subject. So that's the person of whom we process the data of.
Cool. Let's go to the other side, like the EU AI Act. Maybe we can go deeper into this one to learn to know more about this one. What can we learn from this?
I think the very first thing we need to know here is what is actually an AI system. And we have in the EU AI Act, we have a very, very broad definition that doesn't help a person in this world. And I think every legal professional, all the legal professionals are fighting what is an AI system and nobody knows. But I can try to explain the key principles under which a system should be an AI system. And maybe we can, I don't know if we want to do the technical view first, or I should go through the definition first.
I mean, you basically said like it's a machine-based system, right? And it's doing some operations with some varying outcome and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it also does some predictions, generates content, and recommends stuff or does decisions and stuff like that. On AI is actually just a sophisticated word for machine learning. And machine learning is actually mathematics, and it's not random. So like the only thing that in the universe that is random, this is the atom spinning up and down. Anything else might not be random. And this is why in the mathematical field, what a machine learning machine is doing is automating predictions. So if a human would try to calculate some predictions with some percentage of outcome for the prediction, like let's say the gold price for tomorrow is going up, and this going up, I predict with 50%. And this might be accurate or not, I don't know. This would be one prediction. And this process is being automated by AI. And so we think there is a prediction, a content generation, or recommendation or decision being done. Because, for example, if we think about content generations word for word, all of those words that follow another word is just a prediction of whether this word that follows another word should come or not. So the highest predictable word following another word will appear, and hey, there's the there's the kitty cat again.
That's not AI, that's real.
That's real.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, let's take the cat as an example. Let's imagine that Oliver has just simply put on a cat generation tool in his camera, and so pixel per pixel, the machine learning would predict where a cat would go in front of Oliver.
Yeah, and under the AI Act, so the very first characteristic is that we need a machine-based system, but that's easy because, yeah, almost every software is machine-based somehow. And then
maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay.
And when I read that,
Yeah.
when I read the papers that you have sent us, I stumbled upon the machine-based word.
Okay.
Because there's research going on where people say, like, wait a minute, our machines are a little bit too limited for us. So let's take biomass or whatever thing we can do in order to use brains. So,
Oh, okay. Yes, wow.
To calculate stuff.
Interesting.
And
I
so
haven't heard of that.
I find, I mean, we need to make law also that fits for the future and what happens when we have the real matrix going on, not just with generated biomass that is thinking for us. We may not use born humans, like I don't know which matrix is doing, but maybe we use some biomass that is capable of thinking for us.
Okay, the matrix and biomass. I'm not totally sure, but I think we got off track.
But that's a good thing, because this definition is that wide because it should be for the future, because we don't know what's gonna come, and this law is probably existing a few years, so that's why they did it this broad. But they still didn't think about the biomass. So that's a good point. I haven't heard of that at all, but that's a good point.
A machine?
Okay, so first trouble, we need a machine-based system. And the next key characteristic of an AI system is that they have to have the ability to draw conclusions. So they, this is what they mean to infer something in the definition. But that's also very wide, right? Because, I mean, what does that even mean?
It might also be very wrong, because
Yeah.
I can totally like influence a machine how I want it to be.
Mhm.
Yeah. So as I said,
Mhm.
it's not random. Yeah, there might be some, I mean, it appears to be random because we have a certain prediction, but let's say we want to calculate 1 + 1 = 2. But then out of 10 people, one says 1 + 1 = 3.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have with like, I don't know, 90% certainty that 1 + 1 is 2, because one person said 1 + 1 + 1 is 3.
But the
And this is
definition doesn't say the outcome has to be correct. It just says, yeah,
exactly.
it has to draw conclusions.
Exactly. And this is drawing conclusion in a non-random environment, basically. And this is
I
why
make
you can.
real lifetime examples here. I think this is what makes it worth having a look at the entire AI stuff going on, because it can be manipulated quite easily. If you tweak your LinkedIn profile, if you tweak your CV, the AI that reads the documents might come to a totally different conclusion if Bettina or Birgit is worth to be interviewed or not. And this is, by the way, what real human beings like to do.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just an algorithm that does automatic predictions. And as a human on LinkedIn, you can basically put your keywords in, and therefore like manipulate the algorithm so that you are being found by the recruiter that has like the right job for you. And the same also goes for any tooling that is in the end evaluating the CV of a candidate.
Yeah. So maybe if if someone hears this and wants to know, okay, do I run an AI system or not? Because the difference between an AI system and advanced software under this definition, is pretty hard. Maybe what's a hint, or maybe what you can ask yourself if you want to know, okay, do I have to follow the AI Act? Am I under the AI Act? It's that the AI system under this definition, not spoken legally, but trying to make it a bit more understandable, is that the system kind of learns, and an advanced software doesn't. I know it's super basic spoken, but maybe that's what they tried to do under this definition. I don't know. I don't know those people who wrote it down in the AI Act, but maybe that's one hint. Someone can ask himself, does my software have the ability to infer an output from an input? Okay, maybe. And if is that more than an if-then relation? You know what I mean? Like, is that a bit more complicated? Maybe you can say it this way.
I think the difference here is you have a steady software system that doesn't change. The results, they don't change. But with the AI systems that you have mentioned, the result might change over time through progress in learning, through the data that you have put in, and
That's
stuff
good.
like this.
Yeah, that's a good definition. I know that there's people in the legally field that say an AI system under the AI Act doesn't exist right now, because no system can do that what the definition says it has to do. And other people say, okay, basically every advanced software is AI. So it's from a legally perspective, it's quite hard to see if we have an AI system or not. But what you just said, Oliver, is quite a good hint you can ask yourself. And in doubt, I would say it's an AI system, and I would follow the rules under the AI Act. Just to
I mean, if you say AI systems are only those that learn from the input that is, the thing that how a model comes to be as the following. You can have pre-trained models, so with data, and you can have not pre-trained models that learn that still are some when finished learning. So the so-called trained and untrained models, but still both can have a certain time or event when they have finished learning. So pre-trained means that you have a certain set of data. For example, the example that I just said, 9 out of 10 people says that 1 + 1 is 2. And you put it into a certain algorithm, and this algorithm adjusts itself to the data, and then it has finished learning based on that data. And the untrained model would be that once it's making like some sort of prediction, you say it's wrong or right, and so it will adjust based on your feedback the algorithm. But at some point, this would eventually finish its training, basically. And so these are, let me say, these are like the more static models, but still we would call them machine learning models, or maybe even AI, in a different context. What the EU AI Act might consider is the models that constantly readjust by the user input. So there is already a model that has been trained to have certain capabilities. So the stuff that I just explained, it is being put out in the open and production where people can interact with it. And so it will adjust its algorithm, it will adjust its I know the German word. It will adjust its weights, basically, based on the user input. For example, if the user behaves differently, like such as on TikTok, wants to know a different topic, then probably the algorithm will push more of this certain topic. And so whoever has created that model has also implemented the ability for the already existing model to relearn. But still, on the technical definition, both of those are machine learning systems. So we have a difference here from what the EU that AI is.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Oliver?
I didn't want to comment on that. But what I want to stress is that this is a really abstract topic. I think it's really important to be a bit more down to earth, because one of the most important questions the recruiter folks that I know have is, how do I have to deal with that? How should I navigate? What should I do? And what should I avoid? It's not so much what is the legal basis on it. This is important too. But the most pressuring thing is how to navigate in the present.
But to navigate in the present, we first need to know if we have to follow the obligations on the AI Act. So that's why this topic, what is an AI system, is important and interesting. But I understand I mean, nobody actually knows it. I mean, we don't have any jurisdiction or anything. So this is what I said in the beginning. In doubt, I would say, okay, we follow that. We have an AI system, and then we have these and those rules we gonna come to now.
Better safe than sorry. That's basically what you advise.
Yeah, that is what I advise, because this is that's a good line, because I would always advise a risk-based approach. So I would always say, okay, in doubt, we say yes, we have it, because if an authority comes and we just are on the point, okay, we don't have an AI system, that's why we don't follow all the rules and we don't do this and that obligation under the AI Act, and then the authority comes, okay, and says you have an IA system, then and they can sanction you under the AI Act. So that's why I would follow a risk-based approach, and that's also what the AI Act is doing when it comes to the different AI systems. This is what I found super interesting, because we have it's like a pyramid actually, and on the very top we have a banned system or prohibited systems. These are few, and we are not allowed in the EU to run them. This is, for example, in categories of biometric identification. So biometric is everything like, for example, our eyes or our fingerprints or whatever, and these are forbidden. Or the systems that manipulate human behavior, also forbidden. This is very wide, but a good thing, in my opinion. What else? AI system. Okay, for emotion recognition, this could be in the HR process also very important, because if you record an video interview, for example, some people might want to know, okay, what's the real emotion behind this and that answer, but that's also forbidden, at least under the AI Act. Yeah, I think these were the most important ban system.
I saw how a company actually has sold it, like trying to put it out
in the EU.
Yes.
Okay, wow. Was that before the AI Act, probably, or was it?
I would say it was like the EU AI Act was already being presented, but still not published.
So they try to push it through before the AI comes, or
I don't know,
okay.
maybe I don't know. It's still a small company. Maybe they are doing something different.
Yeah, hopefully.
But it's quite interesting. I mean, there are a lot of applications. I mean, we know that. So we have this banned high-risk AI, general purpose AI systems that interact with natural persons and other AI models and systems, right? So these are like the levels that
this is the pyramid.
The pyramid that the EU has defined. And for example, banned systems are those that are, for example, use your biometrics, biometric data, and so on. And recruiting generally can be found in the high-risk AI area.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's why it's important.
Next, this is the highest. This is the highest risk factor that is actually allowed to have inside the EU. And this is also a reason why I wanted to talk about this in this podcast, so that everyone who deals with recruiting, who deals with personal data, is well prepared.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So maybe we can just look at what the AI Act says, because it says every AI system used, it's super wide, in recruitment and employment, e.g. for placing job advertisements, scoring candidates, reviewing job application, promotion or termination decisions, or in reviewing work. So that's basically everything in the HR department.
Yeah, it's everything.
A high-risk AI system, and this means that we have a lot of obligations under the AI system. Like from the pyramid down, the more you are down to earth in our pyramid, the less obligations you have. And we are high, so we have a lot of obligations. Yeah, that's basically what it means.
Any story to this to tell, Oliver?
Story time.
I don't know, is it?
I mean, as I said, like I find it quite interesting. Like I would be very much uncomfortable with being inside an interview and being fully analyzed with my entire face, with the way I'm talking, and also, I don't know, like my voice.
Yeah,
It would be very scary, actually. And this is also what people in social media have said. Like when they saw the shift of human-based recruitment to AI-based recruitment, people are super surprised that within like seconds they get a rejection.
yeah.
You know, they know when they get a rejection within seconds that there was definitely an AI involved, or like something else that might just lead to being put into this post box of the email, and like some sort of automation. Oliver, you want to say
Okay,
something?
now I need to say something. And I put all my diplomatic skills aside. People who are afraid on social media because their voice is being analyzed in video interviews, I don't think they get the point. Because this is what happens, or what would happen after lots of steps. What's really important here is to look at the beginning. So if you hand in your CV, your application letter or whatnot, of course, even 3-5 years ago, you could get an automated rejection within seconds. Software was able to do that. It's not an AI that makes the difference here if you get rejected within seconds or minutes. So that's not the point. The point is, if an AI analyzes your CV or your application letter, yeah, the AI checks it. But here comes the thing, very often the AI is quite dumb. I've heard stories where sales managers were tried to be hired, and lots of CVs were coming in, and the AI was told to look for specifics, like what kind of revenue they have generated. So the AI have been told to look for numbers. Let's say 1 to 10 million makes a very good candidate. Everything below 1 million is not acceptable. Everything above 10 million is a highly valued superstar. But most of the candidates, they didn't know that this was requested, that they should have mentioned the revenue they have generated on their CVs. So the question is, what to do with all the CVs that haven't had a number for the AI to check for? What's your guess? What happened?
They're being rejected because the AI
Yeah.
couldn't.
The question is why they have been rejected. They haven't been rejected by the AI.
But
The
by the
AI
people.
has just put them into another folder, let's say, in the folder with the name to be checked by a human being.
And
And
so it has been put into a folder already with a certain notion on it, right?
the idea is that in this folder, a human recruiter checks every CV that is in this folder with question marks. where the AI didn't know what to do. And let's say out of 100 CVs that have been received, 70 to 80 go into this folder, need to be checked by a human being. And then you have 10 rejected because out of the 100 because of, I don't know, reasons, and 10 that were identified as good or very good because they had numbers and the right numbers on it. It's not so much the question what happened to the 10 plus 10. The question is what happened to the 80. Do you think a human being took the time to look at it? In many cases, the answer would be no. Why? Because the sales guys who sold this kind of software to C-level did a marvelous job. They basically told them, with our system, you can cut the costs. You don't need to have human recruiters anymore to go through all of the CVs. Our AI does it. So the idea is to cut the costs in recruitment. And this is why lots of the CVs are getting rejected, because there is no human to check the pile to be checked by a human anymore. This is the reason. It's not the AI. This is a management issue.
That's good then that we have the AI Act, because under the AI Act, you have to have the human oversight. So you always have to watch what the AI is doing, and then of course check it, I don't know how many times, if it's still the outcome you want to have.
In theory, this is being done, but in practice, it's not. This is what I wanted to point out. If the software is being told to send all of the CVs with question marks to a folder that needs to be checked by a human being, then a human being would need to check it.
Is
If this really happens or not,
oversight
it's a different question.
Is this even the definition of human oversight?
The definition is that I can so to say it, the AI system must be designed so they can be overseen by humans who should meet various requirements, e.g. being able to understand that the AI system and to stop its use whenever some bias or discrimination or whatever is covered.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that a human needs to check like every outcome.
No, because then
it also can just mean that, you know, also a check system could be applied onto this system in order to, like, for example, create some warnings if some requirement has met, for example. Yeah, so to notify the human. What I find interesting is that the AI on a high risk level topic is pre-selecting. You know, this is what I find interesting. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, what you mean? What you want to talk about, like the risk, or
it's putting basically it's deciding, and I wonder if on the high risk level it's actually even allowed to do a decision like that.
Yeah, sure. So if you follow all the under other obligations, which are a lot on the AI, then basically it's allowed. Of course, that's the example about the discrimination and bias. You always have to watch that the AI system doesn't do that. It's even under the AI Act. It's a rule. It's a regulation. And but then if you do so, then of course you can have an AI system which does that. Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but this kind of rating or which profile to put first, this is not a new thing.
No, it's not.
It's not a new thing.
No. We are not talking.
What is new is that it's not done by a human.
I would disagree here. The way how LinkedIn works, it also prefers people with profiles who are active, who have certain informations on it, and the others who don't, who are not active, who meet other criteria. Those are the ones I see the latest. So there is already a kind of ranking in it, and this is existing for years. What I want to point out here, that a lot of things we are nervous about, they're existing for years already. We just haven't
Yeah, I
noticed.
mean, Oliver, the machine learning also exists for years already. So we just have like a trend and a hype, but all of those systems are existing for years already. Also, the ranking on LinkedIn, and then the ranking on LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is not hiring you; it's the people who are looking into these things. And it's like, I don't know, you are kind of putting your own your own profile on it as basically on your free will. Not necessarily because you want to be hired, but maybe yes, you want to be hired, I don't know. But then you know what you're doing because you know there's an algorithm, and so you play around with it. But if you are going into a company where it's really about life-making decisions, or basically a decision that determines your life, that's a different topic, you know. It's a different setting, different context.
I can bring up another case, which is basically what Oliver said, but it's more or less a legal topic. I don't know if you heard about the Amazon case when they wanted to hire a manager for whatever position. And then they thought it's a good idea to put all the CVs from the current managers in an AI system. And then the AI system went through all the applications and should like hire the best manager for this position. But the problem was all managers at Amazon were male, white, and I don't know what, over 40 or something. So the AI system only put male, white, over 40 people, applicants, to the recruiters. And then at some point they said, okay, whoa, here's something totally wrong. But that's basically what Oliver said. It's not the AI system. The AI system did exactly what it was supposed to do, but the people who trained it and who gave the data to the data in it were wrong. But yeah, and that's what I think that's what we need to learn over time, and that is now in the AI Act, like as a rule, or they try to put it as a rule, and try to make that better to fight against this bias and discrimination. We'll see how that works. Hopefully it will get better. Yeah.
Totally understandable. This is also something that I wanted to bring in before. So when it comes to like voice recognition, for example, in different contexts, we have people who have very like melodic voice. So they can interact, they can communicate, but then we also have people who don't have this ability but still can do their jobs very well. And then maybe like talk very monotone and, you know, very calm and laid back. And you never know. And then the AI puts a label on it based on the prediction. As I said, like 90% of the 10 people that I said would say 1 + 1 is 2. And so there will be a label for those people who like may speak in a certain tone, or who look like a certain way and stuff like that, or even like behave in a certain way. So when you said something about recognizing emotions, this is often done with face recognition and how we are moving our thoughts on the face. I would say this is actually one of the easiest models that one can create. But it's still not deep psychology, you know. You can just simply fake it, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if you know how to fake a laugh or how to fake sadness and stuff like that. So you can definitely beat the algorithm. This is one thing, and then the other thing is you have people who are just like not as overwhelmingly emotional as others, and then you have people who are overwhelmingly emotional. So they would always be out of the norm. And so they wouldn't be included inside this big majority that fits into the thing that we want to let through the recruiting pipeline.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem.
I would be fucked in such a situation, because every time when I really listen, like actively listening and really thinking about something, I have such a resting bitch face.
Yeah.
I would never
Yeah, me
pass that.
too.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I always have to smile because, otherwise everyone says, "Why are you so mad?"
But what I'm always wondering about is who actually believes about the result and of such a voice recognition software and facial recognition stuff telling the truth about the candidate. Who believes that this is really of value. This is what I'm having my doubts about. Just today, I had a pitch with a client who was really proud in telling me that he uses personality analysis. And I thought, wow, this is really interesting. And it is, by the way, just neutrally saying. And then I asked, like, okay, what kind of model do you use and what do you use it for? And then he came with 16 personalities, which is like the that's a toy
MBTI.
for small kids compared to what would really be working and supporting his case. So I think lots of people, lots of companies, especially managers who have no clue about recruiting, they try to buy software to provide a security that is, after all, a false security. How you use your voice, how you use your face, if you have a resting bitch face or not, that doesn't make you, I don't know, a good teacher, a good chef, a good engineer, or a good doctor. That is not the case here.
Yeah, totally.
I find it so interesting, Oliver, because it happens again that I realize that AI cannot take or cannot help you if you don't know what it is about. Like I learned, for example, I mean, my first profession is graphic design, and everyone tried to like improve like graphic design programs so that you don't need to draw, you don't need to paint, and I don't know all of the stuff, but still you need to know how to do all of the graphic design in order to do good graphic design stuff, even in Canva. Yeah. So if you don't know about it, you can still create bad design. And so here with Oliver's example, I see again, if you don't know about psychology, how can you know that your system actually works, tells you the truth, and how can you actually deal with the outcome that the AI is creating for you? That's quite interesting. Bettina, you want to say something?
No, I think Oliver wants to say something to the topic because I wanted to go to the next one, but
Okay, then let me just quickly finish it. So the best predictor of the future is actually the present and the past. So if you want to determine if a candidate makes a good employee, then it's not about how this person uses the voice, the face, or using certain terms on the CV or LinkedIn profile or not. This might be a little bit of help, a little bit, but it cannot predict about the performance of this person. And this is what so many managers get wrong. They want to have a tool like that, but it's looking into the right direction.
Yeah, and this is what your example with the C-level who wants to cut costs. I think we don't, at least in the recruitment process, I think it's not like the AI system replaces all recruiters and all the humans in the loop, and it doesn't. It's not allowed from the first side, but the second side is that it's not even possible. Maybe in the future, I don't know what's in 100 years, but right now it's exactly what you are saying. Why would we trust it? And it's super important that we still have a human in there and actually making the decision?
The thing on this is, we have made some decisions based on half knowledge before, and now we are letting a machine doing decisions based on half knowledge, and we even trust it. This is how I see it.
So at the moment, I'm like, that's not the right timing to deeply talk about that. But at the moment, I'm developing a product that uses AI in recruitment. But I'm not so, I would not promise to my clients that a human touch is not necessary anymore. An AI might only help to automate repetitive work. That's it.
Yeah.
It always requires a human touch and human oversight, not just by law. I know that this is right and necessary, but also because if you want to get a good result, this human touch and oversight is still needed.
Yeah, definitely.
I would never promise fire all of your recruiters. That's unrealistic.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so real life and law go together. That's a good thing, because I don't know if that's too often. Yeah. So maybe should we just go back to the roles on the AI to make it a bit more legally? Because what you just said, you are developing an AI, and to find a little bit back to our topics, not too deep, but that's important if you want to know what obligations one has to follow under the AI Act. It's important to know which role you have, because we have providers, we have deployers, we have importers and distributors. And if you develop an AI system, or you have an AI system developed in under your means, then you are a provider. So Oliver, you would be a provider if you then put it on the market in the EU. So then you're a provider, and a provider often high risk AI system. This is then what you are. You have the most obligations under the AI Act. Isn't that perfect?
And
are you happy?
Who you don't
Sorry.
Ghostbusters or Bettina.
Bettina. Yeah, and the deployers, they are private companies which use an AI system. So this is mostly, if you don't develop it on your own, you just use it. You're a deployer, and then you're the person or the entity with the second most obligations. So these are the two most important roles, I would say, under the AI Act, because then you can have a look and go through. I mean, it's super complicated, but if you want to know it very closely, you can go through the AI Act and see, okay, I'm a provider of an AI HR of a high risk AI system, and then you could go through it and see what obligations there. Maybe that helps someone to kind of find it out.
So, which also means we're talking about some models, technical term that I'm putting in that are mostly built in Python, but then I want to actually create a tool that other people can use. But I still use other people's models. I still would be a provider, right? So if I create a tool that combines a lot of models, and then I put it out in the open for other people to use, then I would still be a provider.
Yeah, correct.
Even though other people have created the models and not me.
In the very first place, yeah. So, but they are still also providers then, and you're then in the first place the first step a deployer of their model, basically. Does that make sense? Yes.
No. Because I don't use it. Like if I would be to combine, and which is also happening right now, it's like the big thing, multimodal models. You're just combining a lot of models into one tool and so it becomes more powerful, and then you just like put it out there in the open and let other people use it.
So I would say if it's then a new AI system which does other things, probably because you wouldn't combine it, then you would be, in my opinion, a provider. But I'm not too sure because there is not any jurisdiction or anything that defined it in a way. So we don't know for sure right now, but on this definition, I would say you are then a provider as well.
I would say so too, because this is also what's this is simply what's happening. You have like multiple levels of providers right now, and in the very end, there's one person or one company that is actually using it. Yeah.
And puts it on the market. Okay. Yeah, then probably yes. You would be a provider.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Anything else? Importers?
I think the importers and the distributors are not. I mean, they are the importers. They is a private company. If they are established in the EU or in the EEA, we also have to say it's also the economic area, and then place on the market an AI system of a provider. So you are not the provider, but you place it on the market, and the distributor. I don't know why I can't pronounce that word. Sorry. That's just someone in the supply chain that makes the AI system then available on the market. But I think the most important roles are the providers and the deployers, because they are mostly common. Yeah. And if you want to do that, Oliver, you first of all have to follow all the GDPR obligations. I'm not going through them in detail, but the most interesting, at least for me, I don't know about normal persons that don't do law, is that we have, I don't know if you haven't heard about it, that we have an Article 22 in the GDPR, and that says that whenever we have an automated decision-making system, the people you are processing data of, the data subjects, can tell you not to. So whenever there's no human in the loop, which we already said we don't want that, then the people can say, okay, I don't want that, and you are not allowed to use it anymore. So that's, again, why it's important. We always have a human.
In December, I have hired someone from a company. So I took this person out of this company. And this company was trying to make the customers believe that they have an automated AI system, researching the candidates, rating them, and just providing them to the clients. In fact, what they had, it's a little bit like the car of Fred Feuerstein. There was no software to it. The software they used is a PDF creator, basically, but it was all done by human beings. And right now I'm thinking, isn't that be the smartest?
Yeah, I love it.
Troubles?
Under the GDPR, I love it.
I mean, this is also what Amazon tried to do with the automated shopping, where you just like put in like the item into your basket, and you just move out of the shop, and it will automatically be paid. These were all humans behind it who tracked what you.
Nice. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, you need to sell it first, and then you build it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Should we? I know we've been talking a lot, but should we quickly go through the obligations under the AI Act? To make it kind of round, not super deep, but maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so people take some legal advice from here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Short and quick, and
Short and
also
quick.
so that people can remember.
Okay, I just only do the most important ones, or maybe I just put bullet points. So as I said, the obligations differentiate from what kind of AI system you have and what kind of role you have. And now we are talking about a high-risk AI system and that you're a provider. And then you have to have a risk management system in the entire life cycle of the AI system. That might be important just to mitigate risk, but I think that's also in your own favor to do so, because you want to have a running AI system. Then you have to have a...
Can this be another AI system to oversee?
Okay, now it's getting complicated. Probably yes, but then for this AI system, you would need all those obligations too. So I don't know if you win something.
I don't know. There was a system in Canada, like 3 AIs checking each other.
Nice.
They're checking each other, like the
don't
one
think that
in
would work.
Neon Genesis Evangelion. I don't know if you know this movie. There's like also it's just a fantasy movie from Japan, where 3 AIs basically check each other's decisions and then come to a common conclusion.
Okay, I think that wouldn't work in the EU because we still need that human oversight as well under the GDPR, as well under the AI Act. But that's funny.
Yeah.
But I would have to think about it a little longer, how you could then integrate all the AI Act obligations if you have an AI system checking an AI system checking an AI system. But I think it would make it worse, to be honest.
Let's see.
Then you of course have to follow all the data protection rules, which we didn't come unfortunately to very much. But you said you already had a GDPR podcast, so maybe there were kind of deeper or a bit more about the obligations. And we have to do the technical documentation. So we have to have
technical documentation need to be like out there for people to be able to read,
it's like a manual. Basically. Of course, record keeping. So we have automatic logging of all events, and transparency. That means first of all, we have, as a provider, give instructions how to use the AI system, and so that then the deployers can inform their people who are inferred by the AI system what actually happens, basically. We talked about a lot about it. We have the obligation for human oversight, very important, and we have to have a quality management system. Question: could it be an AI system? Same as above. And of course, even if we put it already on the market, we still have to monitor what the AI system does, if it still does this what it was supposed to do. So we are not finished by putting it on the market and then just let it roll. We still have to control it afterwards, basically. And and of course we have to follow all the other rules that might be important. For example, IP law, trademark law, whatever. That might be important. Depends on the AI system that you were developing, but of course, there's all the other regulations, and we have a few other rules under the AI Act. But I think these were the key principles, let's say.
I mean, I think this is actually a very important part to know for anyone who wants to use an AI, especially in recruiting.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend everyone who is listening to check out the applications again on the internet and see whether there is like some of them missing, because I believe if you have a case running, then this might be a risk for the entire recruiting process.
Yeah, totally. I think if you know the basics that we were talking about, like what role do I have? Do I even have an AI system? And then you, I mean, it's super easy also to Google to like get an overview. What do I actually have to do? To go more into detail, I would always consider contacting a lawyer, of course. Just to not get fined at some point because you do something wrong. But yeah, if you know the basics, I think it's easy to find out like an overview what you have to do if you want to develop or if you want to use an AI system.
Exactly.
Sounds like we have to invite you again.
Yeah, I would be happy. I love talking about it. And I'm not done. I can tell you so much more.
Okay, Bettina, you have just qualified by using human oversight to be invited for the next session.
Nice.
There's no AI system behind, I swear. We are not robots.
I haven't seen you in real life, so I don't know.
That's so funny because I'm creating avatars right now, and you never know if it's me or just the avatar of myself.
Scary.
How it starts.
Bettina, we have usually a last question. I would like to combine it a little bit. Have you ever been inside a recruiting process that used AI?
Not that I knew. So I don't know. Yeah, so I don't think so, but you never know what the company actually does with your data.
And since you don't know it, you might not be offended by it. So here is the last question. What was your most positive interview experience?
That's of course my current job.
Of course.
Love goes out because we were vibing from the very first start, and it wasn't actually an interview. It was like us talking about different topics. So yeah, whenever a job interview doesn't feel like a job interview, I think it's a match.
I think so too.
It just thought of something completely different. Whenever a date doesn't feel like a job interview, it's a match.
Nice. I love it.
And I mean, since I'm dealing with lots of talkative AI, I feel like whenever it doesn't feel like a machine, I think it's a match. I am the person laughing now. I mean, I'm dealing with it every day.
Bettina, you don't know that, but I always, try to compare recruitment to more lively topics. And what I compared the most with is actually dating, because the same rules apply. And it's funny, but it's true. And just recently, I saw the CEO of Bumble giving a speech, and she said, in the near future, every profile on Bumble, because Bumble is different from Tinder, OkCupid, and Hinge, it's just a different company. Every profile on Bumble or on dating apps, let's put it more general, will have an AI agent, and the AI agent of profile A talks to the AI agent of profile B to find out if there's a match or not. And just imagine you have a set of 50 questions that the other agent needs to answer in order to qualify yourself or not.
Oh gosh. So you want to say in the future it's just an AI talking to an AI. No more humans speaking to each other. Nice.
You might have to do the flirting and the kissing. That's a very analog experience.
And we're trying
Every- Everything else,
to
Oh, wow. Amazing.
yeah. And now imagine you would do that in the recruitment too.
Wow. Amazing times ahead.
With that being said, I thank the listeners for listening to this illustrated talk with Bettina and Oliver and Birgit. And we see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you. Thanks for having
Bye-bye.